welcome to another episode of TUPCast, the Untitled Podcasters podcast, where we talk about movies and get heavily off topic while doing it. My name is Andrew. I am one of your hosts. Alongside me today will be my two other hosts, Colby.
Hello.
And Steve.
Yo, yo, yo.
And in today's episode, we are going to be doing some Marvel ranking. We have some ideas here. What we're planning on doing ultimately is rewatching some of the films and ranking them based on how we do that. But we wanted to put together a list of what we thought the rankings would be initially. So that's what we're going to go through today. The plan is for us to go through Phase 1 of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and each of us have put together our own lists. So we're going to compare our lists and then try to tweak them and come together with an agreed list. We'll do the same thing for Phase 1 and Phase 2. And then after we do that, we're going to try and merge them and get together like a actual ranking system. If we have time, we'll get into Phase 3. If not, that will be a separate episode. And then after that, we'll kind of pull through and get going from there. Missing anything from you guys?
Just a shout out to our new testing audio software we're using. We're using trying Riverside instead of Discord, so if anything sounds different, that could be why.
Yes, and that's where that spectacular drum roll came from.
Yeah, it came with its sound effects too, so I'm going to have fun with that.
Yes, I'm also an experienced 7 years as a drummer, but that wasn't me rolling. Selfless plug. Haven't played since high school.
Nice.
Yes, and so this episode is also the first one we're recording with cameras on, which doesn't matter to listeners because this is a podcast, but if we just start like randomly laughing, it's because I'm just looking at their faces.
Thanks.
Pretty laughable.
That's all right.
I get it.
Gotta make jokes at our own expenses. Yes. So, I'm gonna share my screen with these two gentlemen so they can see the spreadsheet I've put together, just so we get an idea there. Can you see it okay?
Yep.
All right. Did anyone want to start anything before we get right into it?
Has anybody seen Echo yet?
No.
Okay. So that's where we're at Marvel, because I feel like in these early days, like I had to go see the movie like week 1.
It didn't matter what it was.
Yeah.
And now it's like, have you seen Echo yet? No, probably won't either. So
I probably never will.
The Marvels was the first Marvel movie I haven't seen in theaters since Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
So, that's over 10 years. That's just crazy to think about. That they're at this point. So that's why we'd like to reminisce on the past, relive our glory days. So we'll get started then. For Phase 1 of the MCU, the films we have to select from are Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, The First Avenger, and The Avengers. Just a disclaimer, I haven't actually seen The Incredible Hulk. It's the only one of the MCU movies.
Seen it?
It's the only movie I haven't seen.
So that's gonna be 6 for you then, right?
I would like to also add a disclaimer. I, too, have never watched that movie.
What? Oh,
I've seen like 80% of that movie, and I've seen tons of clips of it, but I've never actually sat down, started it, and then finished it.
I sat down and started it, but I couldn't finish it.
Well, disclaimer from my end, I have seen it, and it's like a guilty pleasure movie in the...
Oh,
like,
Steve.
I just,
Okay.
I don't know, I like Eric Bana as Hulk as well.
All right, well, everybody heard it here. He's putting Incredible Hulk as his number 1.
Nope,
Eric-
that's not going to happen, but I do enjoy it.
Is Eric Bana the same person as Edward Norton?
No. Oh, I'm thinking of the other Hulk, aren't
You're
I?
thinking of the
That-
different Hulk.
Whatever.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
I like Edward Norton and Eric Bana,
Alright.
whatever his name is, as the Hulk.
Cool. So, do
Andrew Ferrigno.
do we want to have just one of us go at a time, or do we each want to give our number ones and go on?
I think there's a decent chance number 1 is the same for all of us, right?
I have.
Yeah.
Be surprised if it wasn't. So my number 1 was The Avengers.
That's also my number one.
which is also Steve's number one.
What do you know? You guys copied me.
And cool. All right, so
I think this is the easiest phase to list.
I agree.
Just because, like, it was all origin movies, essentially. Well, Iron Man 2, but they were just, like, starting movies, and, like, having the Avengers all come together was, like, the first time we got, like, the meet-up battle. Like, I don't know. There was something special.
That was...
I mean, the only
revolutionary.
example prior to that we ever had was, like, X-Men.
Yeah.
Right.
And I maybe Fantastic Four, I guess.
Yeah.
When
Not greatly received movies at the time.
No.
the 2005, like, Fantastic... That's a good movie. I don't... Like, for what it was at the time, like, it was good. Like, I don't really understand what people don't like about those movies. The sequel wasn't as good, but the Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, which was the sequel one with Chris Evans as Human Torch, has my favorite Stan Lee cameo ever. It's at Sue Storm and Reed Richards' wedding, and Stan Lee walks up to the wedding to check in, and the guy's like, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Stan Lee." And he looks at him and goes, "Yeah, right." He's like, no, it's actually me. And then they, like, escort him out of the place. So that's funny there. So our second picks. Anyone want to throw them out there?
I mean, arguably the most important movie in the MCU for me is definitely Iron Man. So that's... I could only not put that number one because the Avengers is just like Iron Man plus everybody else.
It is.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, but, like, Iron Man probably is, like, the most important movie in the MCU to date. It might not be the best one, but it's the most important, for sure. Right. And, like, that original suit that he built in the cave, like, the Mach 1, that whole sequence, that whole, like... And that's, like, 45 minutes of the movie. He's just in a cave building a shitty suit. And you're, like, hooked, because you know what's coming out of that cave is the first Iron Man suit.
Mach 1.
And, like, I just remember, like... him getting home and, like, painting it, and he's, like, you know, put, like, what, Corvette red on it or whatever,
Something
and it's
like
like,
that,
oh,
yeah.
like,
Hot
he's
Rod
building
Red.
Hot Rod Red. He's building that suit. Like, there was just so many good moments in the first Iron Man. And it's always so easy to rewatch.
I will also say that is also my number two. Same reasons. It obviously is the structure of which we can owe the entire MCU for. It built that foundation. But Avengers being the cumulative... oh my god, I just had a stroke. Culmination of all of the origin movies coming together. It was just like its own standalone feat.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was so good, let alone actually making every movie before it even better because it was so good.
Yeah. I think...
like, that's why it's my number two.
With the Avengers, like... That was the first one of these movies I saw in theaters, and that's, like, what hooked me to it. And, like, that's why I'm, like, we're doing this right now. But I'm also curious if, like, if the Avengers, like, if that movie flopped, if they would have continued.
The Avengers or Iron Man?
The Avengers, like, the...
I think they already had stuff planned after the Avengers, though, right?
No, they set up. Yeah, that's true. They set up Thanos in the post-credit scene, but
they had to get to Black Widow.
Had to get to Black Widow.
This is true. Just to throw a wrench in things, I actually had Iron Man 2 second on my list.
Whoa!
Iron Man 2? You skipped the Iron Man... was that a typo? You just put the 2 there by accident, or...
No.
That came out of left field. I did not see that one coming.
You like Whiplash?
I do. I think that one's a guilty pleasure one for me. I love the idea of, and this has been exhausted throughout the MCU, but this was the first one to do it, of secondary characters becoming sidekicks. So they do that with Rhodey in this one. Nick Fury has a big presence in this film. Black Widow makes her premiere in this one. There's a lot of world building in this movie, and I think that might be what puts it up there for me. Of the Iron Man trilogy, Iron Man 2 is my favorite. But Iron Man 1 was my next choice too, so I'll throw that in there.
I gotta say, Iron Man 2 has some of my favorite quotes from any of the Iron Man movies in the MCU. The one of them being when Black Widow first gets introduced and Scarlett Johansson's in like the boxing ring or whatever.
Yeah.
And he looks over. Robert Downey Jr. looks over at Pepper and he goes, "I want one." It's so funny. And
she
then
beats up Happy.
yeah, and then after she beats up Happy, she stands up and she looks at him. He looks at her, and it cuts back and forth like 3 times, and nobody says a word, and he just goes, "What?"
Yeah,
it's got a lot.
Because
When she like puts on her suit and like beats all those dudes up in that hallway, and he's like fighting one guy the whole time, and then he goes, "I got him," and he like looks around and like they're all down. Yeah, Happy has some of the best lines in that movie.
There's some good moments in that movie.
It is.
Yeah, and like she's changing and he's driving her, and he's like looking in the mirror at
Yeah,
her.
he goes to look at the rearview mirror.
Yeah, he like
road or whatever she says. Yeah,
can't say I would have been in a different position.
yeah.
But I will, to what you guys said with Iron Man, I will agree. Like, it started everything there. I don't know, agree. I think that's one that I need to rewatch. I don't think I've watched that one enough, but I can agree to put that on second place.
We do get
Well, we can do the agreed list at the end too.
we do get Justin Hammer in that movie, which is pretty great.
We get we get a cool bird. I mean, how many of the movies have cool birds?
My bird.
I mean, Whiplash is pretty damn cool.
Justin Hammer, I love. He's just a great villain. But I think he's supposed to come back, like for the War Machine. They're doing like Armor Wars. I think he's supposed to be like the antagonist of that. And I remember at the end of Iron Man 2, and maybe because this is one of the first ones I saw, he like but Hammer says like to Pepper or someone like while the cops are taking him out, he's like, "You haven't seen the last of me," which is something every villain says.
We didn't see the last one because shortly after that we got a Marvel one-shot with after Iron Man 3 with him and the Mandarin while they were in prison.
The Mandarin. Awesome. Oh man, that's another story.
This is back in the Coulson era too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Coulson was my favorite character.
He was all right.
I don't know. I loved him. You know why I liked him so much? I feel like I could relate to him.
But we needed him to die. I think that was the important part. Like, we needed him to die to like bring them all together again.
Have you seen that interview with Clark Gregg, where he tells like how he found out Coulson was gonna die?
No.
He says to someone, he's like, "So Kevin Feige calls me before we started filming for the Avengers film." And he's like, "I want you to know that we've upped the size of Coulson's role in this film." And I'm like, "Oh, that's great, like awesome." And he goes, "He's gonna be the character who brings them all together." And I was like, "Oh, so what you're saying is I'm gonna die?" He's like, "Yep." All right, so that's me for that.
Well, I'll just throw out there that my third is Iron Man 2. So I had the Iron Mans flip-flopped from what you had, because I just enjoy anything with Iron Man centric.
Yeah.
Even if like 2, like even 3, it's pretty bad, but like it's still Iron Man for like most of the movie. Like I just want to hang out with Tony Stark as a character.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
So Iron Man 2 is my third from Phase 1.
I'm gonna throw a curveball at you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, I'm not saying Thor. I'm gonna go with Captain America.
Interesting.
I'm Team Cap.
Okay.
I've never been like pro Cap. It's weird.
I don't know. There's just something about him. I just find him fascinating. Also, I'm a sucker for like anything World War II related, so they got me there.
That part was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a historical.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. I really don't remember that one a whole lot. Like, who's the villain in that? I don't even remember.
Red Skull.
Yeah, see, I don't even remember that. That's how bad. How long?
Hail Hydra, man.
That. Oh yeah, and he gets frozen at the end. Yeah,
we get some good Stucky moments in that. I ship Stephen Bucky, hardcore.
Nice. We need. They did Red Skull dirty then, because we've only seen Red Skull in that, right?
No,
and
he
then
came back in Infinity War and Endgame.
he's like the what's his name?
He's the gatekeeper for the stone.
Yeah, and it wasn't even Hugo Weaving; it was somebody else.
No, I know.
It was Ross Marquand or whatever, the dude from that zombie show, The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because Hugo Weaving was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, I can't do a voice for a day.
Right.
Yeah,
He had like 5 lines, but
like
oh well.
3 days of shooting max.
Yeah, not even on screen.
No,
I would have loved to see just a short of, or maybe like do a what if episode of Cap returning the stones.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
A good time. I haven't watched What If season 2 at all.
I haven't either. I've heard like good things about it.
I never finished the first season.
I just love the concept of it, like the domino effect, like how one thing causes the others.
Well, we'll probably get more of those for sure.
Yeah.
They seem to do well.
All right.
Well enough.
All right, so I'm just checking I did a tier list, so then I just took a picture of it so I could keep this tab open on itself. So after Iron Man, my next choice was Captain America: The First Avenger.
As was mine.
Okay.
Mine's Iron Man 2.
Yeah, so we're not
Right.
that far off.
No, I didn't think we would be.
And, like-
I can guarantee you we both have the last two at the end.
Like I said,
Maybe. At least Colby and I do.
for the most part, though, most of these movies are interchangeable depending on the day you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Avengers will always be number one. for
Avengers
me.
are always number 1. Iron Man's
But-
definitely number 2. But after that, almost any day of the week, most of the MCU movies are pretty interchangeable.
Yeah. Cool.
It's going to be tough to merge them all, though.
That's right. Yeah, I know.
Like, if you break them up into phases, it's not that hard. But when you add all the phases together and you create, like, a god list, basically, of it, it's a lot more. I had way more trouble with the overall than, like, each phase.
Yeah. I didn't do overall. I just did phase 1 and 2, and I was like, I'll leave the merging for when we get to doing it today.
I did, like, a quick overall just out of, like, curiosity, basically,
Okay.
what I thought.
Cool. So my next choice there is Thor.
Is it Thor, like, straight across the board here?
Yep.
Yep, and then Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. And
Incredible
like
Hulk,
I said at the beginning, disclaimer, I never even
Yeah,
watched
that I
Incredible
haven't
Hulk start
either.
to finish. So I think by default, no matter what, that was going to be at the bottom.
like I said, it's not a bad movie, and it's like a movie that I kind of enjoy watching, but it's just it doesn't feel like it's even connected because it's a different actor. Like the thing about the MCU is that they've been pretty consistent with the actors. So like the
Yeah.
fact that this was one actor and then they brought in Mark Ruffalo, like
Right.
it just feels so different and so out of place.
I think, like you said, they don't really change actors, but the one time that they did was with Don Cheadle and Ron
True.
Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard.
I didn't like
They,
Terrence Howard, so that was a good switch.
It was
I didn't really.
it was
like Ron
great
Howard.
because at the beginning of Iron Man 2, when Don Cheadle walks in the courtroom, he's like, "It's me. I know. I'm different.
James.
Get over it," or something like that. It was so funny, and like that they were referencing the Terrence
Absolutely.
Howard thing, but it worked in the context
Did-
of the plot. I just thought it was funny.
Do you remember? Did Terrence Howard drop out, or
So
he must be
My-
kicking himself?
my understanding is that for Iron Man 2, he didn't get a big of a pay bump as he wanted.
So he dropped out.
Don't quote me on that. I might not be right.
I like vaguely remember
Um,
that now that you say it, though. Like he wanted
But
more
it was
money.
like something related, like because RDJ got so much more that he wanted more, and he wasn't getting it. So I will I'm with you, Steve. Like maybe because we're just so used to Don Cheadle because he stayed consistent afterwards. The only thing that I liked about Terrence Howard is he was more like, I guess he could joke more.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Don Cheadle, he's a serious performance of him, and I do remember like a couple scenes in Iron Man 1 where like Terrence Howard and Robert Downey Jr. would like goof off with each other, and I don't really feel like we got the same extent with Don Cheadle.
Yeah. I just don't think I'm a big fan of Terrence Howard overall, like in anything that he's in. He's just one of those
Yeah.
actors that doesn't do it for me. I get that he's good. I just don't think he does it for me.
All right, so that takes us to the end of Phase 1 there. So for our mutual agreed lists, we all had Avengers first, and we all had Thor and the Incredible Hulk to finish it off. So the three middle ones there we have in chronological order: Iron Man 2, Captain America: The First Avenger, and Iron Man.
So I would argue that since you guys both, since me and Steve both chose Iron Man for the second one, that would be the second tiered.
I was gonna say the same.
I think that
And
makes sense.
same goes for the third tier. You guys both had Captain America, so that would go there.
Mm-hmm.
And that would leave Iron Man 2.
As number 4, right?
Number 3.
Oh, wait, no. Reverse. Iron Man 2 would be number 3. Captain America would be number 4.
Even
Yes,
though
'cause
even though I picked that in that order, though, I would argue to put Captain America higher.
You think so?
Just yeah, because like
I wouldn't.
I don't know, I just because it's different, I guess. Like it's a different character to follow, and it's like an origin story. I don't know. It's probably more important than Iron Man 2, but is Iron Man 2 a better and more fun movie to watch overall?
I
Obviously
think so.
I picked Captain America as my third. I would argue that Iron Man is a more fun movie.
Yeah, probably.
For sure.
Yeah. So leave that at 2 and go Cap 4.
Yeah, I would leave
three,
it, yeah,
and
just
4.
like that.
Okay.
So we put
Makes sense.
Iron Man 2 right below Iron Man.
Nice.
I'm confirming that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got my exact list right.
Thank you. Cool. All right. So I'm just gonna copy that. And
2
then I'll
was
put that right
fairly. Phase 2 is kind of.
Can you read off the finale list for us, Andrew?
there. Yes. Good idea. So after our initial lists, the agreed list we've come on in last place for Phase 1 of the MCU is Incredible Hulk. 5th place is Thor. 4th place is Captain America: The First Avenger. 3rd place is Iron Man 2. 2nd place is Iron Man. And 1st place is The Avengers. Moving on now to Phase 2. The films we have to select with are Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man. And I feel like there may be some similarities here as well.
I'd have to agree.
Um,
Are we? Is there a consensus number 1 here?
I would hope so.
I would think so.
You're right.
Captain America:
Dark
The Winter
World.
Soldier.
It's Dark
Oh.
World for sure.
Damn, this is awkward.
It's
Yeah,
gotta
no, Winter
be-
Soldier.
It's got to be
Winter
Winter
Soldier.
Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Cool.
I mean, just Winter Soldier catching the shield, which was in every trailer to the lead up to that movie,
And
was
it's
just
still
so epic.
still hit. Yeah.
It's just one of those moments. It's like when Captain America lifted the hammer. It's like the same thing when Bucky caught the shield. Like,
Yeah.
they're pretty close.
It's a spy movie.
Yeah.
And I saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier before I had seen the first Avenger.
What?
And
Are you taking
traditionally-
crazy pills over there?
no, it's because I saw the Avengers was the first MCU movie I saw, and then, I mean, I wanted to get around to seeing it, but I just didn't. And then my mom wanted to go see it, so we saw it. But the thing, like, with that movie is like it's I don't know, it's such a spy, and at this time, when sequels came out, they typically were not better than their
Yeah, there's
Original.
very few.
the MCU has made significant exceptions to those, and in this case, but I didn't know that, so I think part of the reason I had the first Avenger lower on my list was because of the order I saw them. Because after I saw the Winter Soldier and I went to see the first Avenger, I was kind of expecting the same kind of hype, and it just didn't deliver the same.
Yeah.
But like, we each, as I mentioned at the start of this episode, the three of us came up with a top 5 list. This is in my top 5.
Oh yeah.
Overall, this is you could make the argument this is one of the best Marvel films ever made.
Yeah, I don't think there's any moments in that movie that I ever like that are like cringy or like bad writing or bad action.
Like right from the get-go.
Like the whole thing is just phenomenal.
Yeah, no, beginning to end, they captured it all. Plug in my Chromebook. Yeah.
Whoa, you all right there, bud?
Yeah, sorry, I had to plug in my laptop.
It sounded like an earthquake.
Fun story. That's how I failed my my MTEL.
No.
Your battery died?
No, I went to charge it. So the MTEL is an exam that educators have to pass in order to gain licensure in Massachusetts. And when I took this exam, it was during the pandemic, so it was all virtual and remote. And so I was sitting in my basement as I am now, and I got a pop up on my screen that says your computer needs to be plugged in. So I, like this, like for listeners, I'm just gonna bend out of frame, and then plug it back in. But there's an online, like they're proctoring me because you're not supposed to cheat during this test, and the chat like opened up, and the proctors said since I left the camera review, they had to revoke my test.
What?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's brutal. They told you to plug it in, but then...
Well, no, my computer prompted me to...
Oh, I thought you were saying they told you to plug it in.
No.
I'd be like, really? Like, no.
No, I tried to, like, that's... I was pissed off.
Yeah, but even still, like... I get if you get up and walk away for, like, 2 minutes, but...
No, I was out of frame for literally... That's just... Don't get me started on the
PTSD.
I'm very against standardized testing. But
So
that's for another episode.
What did you do for when, like, the one that you passed? You were like, I'm not going to even flinch from this seat in the hopes of not failing.
I actually started caring less, so I just got up and ran around my screen.
Nice.
I said, screw the system.
Fuck the police.
All right, and now our second choices today.
I've got Guardians as my number 2.
I also have Guardians.
Okay, I'll add those in there.
Andrew does.
I feel like it's very self-explanatory.
I don't.
Oh,
I actually have Age of Ultron next.
Whew.
Andrew.
Yeah.
We're learning a lot about our friend here.
I've said since day one I've never been a huge Guardians guy.
The first one was so fun though because they were so like mischievous, and like I don't know.
It is. It's my next. It's my third choice. This is like the same thing for Phase 1, I guess.
Yeah.
But, my thing with Guardians is, which I was telling Colby earlier, may happen to me with Deadpool 3, is I saw it after everybody and their mother had seen it, and they all said it was like the best movie ever. And I went to see it.
Expectations were too high.
And I felt every minute of that movie go by.
Yeah.
In that theater.
Well, I had the same experience with Madam Web recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everyone praised it so high that you hated it?
I heard, I heard nothing good, nothing bad about it, so I went in with high expectations. And,
man.
Well,
no, it's top movie of 2024 for sure.
It's a good thing none of us predict. Yeah, none of us put that on our list for, I thought it was going to be decent. I thought, like, it would be, like...
No.
I was expecting it. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I can't... I want to see it, because...
Wait, clap him off stage. I want to see it because of how bad of reviews it's getting. Like, if I want to appropriately hate on this film, I need to see it. It's worse than Morbius? Like, it's hard to believe.
No. I owe Morbius an apology.
Wow.
That movie is so bad.
So I was honestly really, really hoping that at the end of Madam Web,
Morbius
there was going to be... Full disclosure here, there's no post-credit scene.
Nothing?
So I waited through the credits for nothing.
Poor thing.
No mid-credit?
No mid-credit, nothing. The movie ends and it's over. So I was honestly really, really hoping...
the text that Cassie sent me.
The only thing that would save that movie is
hold on.
Is if Morbius showed up in a post-credit scene because of how absurd it would be.
You could have laughed at that. Then you would have known, like, the film didn't take itself seriously. Because the three of us are pretty... I don't think we're picky about films, but we pay attention to things more than...
Yeah.
I guess your average film goer would. So Cassie's like that. She texted me. This is at 7:15 in the morning. You were right to not see Madam Web. And I said, is it that bad? She said, bad, and that's coming from me. Then she proceeded to send me, like, very detailed texts about what she did not like about that movie. I'm not gonna read those now though. It was just funny.
It's so bad, man.
But like Morbius, I remember watching it. So I didn't go see it in theaters, but it was on Netflix.
No, I didn't. Yeah, it was on Netflix.
And I watched it. I put it on while I was doing like a build. I was like, I'll just throw it on in the background. And I was like, oh, Matt Smith is in this. Like, that's cool. I like him. Oh, this isn't that bad. And then like it goes off the rails, but I'm like, it's manageable. And then I like looked down and I looked up and the credits were rolling. And I was like, when did the movie end? Like
Madam Web has a similar
it just
ending.
ended.
It just kind of ends.
And you're like, what is happening?
There's
I had
there's
COVID
literally no
when I watched
superheroes
that.
in the movie, even though it is a superhero movie.
Did they just reference Spider-Man at every cost?
So funny enough, me and Andrew were talking about this the other day. I was so bored throughout that movie that I was completely missing every Peter Parker, Ben Parker, May Parker, everything, every reference they were making. I literally didn't have a single clue that they were setting up Peter Parker in that movie because I was so bored and kept looking at my phone the entire time.
I had sent him a TikTok about someone who was like, "Did everyone like miss the actual point?" Which evidently everybody did. I guess Uncle Ben is an actual character in the movie.
He's
he's in the character? He's in the movie?
Yeah.
He's Adam Scott, right?
Yeah, he's Adam Scott.
Adam Scott is Uncle Ben.
Is
He's a younger-
Yeah.
Oh my god. Why?
I don't know, because this is a prequel.
I don't
So-
prequel to what? Who
This-
knows?
Well, so this movie was originally supposed to be because Sony was going to have their own Spider-Man because the MCU has Tom Holland, and this was going to be like a setup, like because in this, and it takes place in like 2004, 2003.
2003.
Yeah. So it's like this guy. This is the original plot, which evidently isn't what happened. Comes back in time, and he's trying to kill Mary Parker, who's pregnant with Peter.
Is that Madam Web or is that
No, so Dakota Johnson sees this vision, and so she's supposed to go out and try and stop him from killing this woman who's pregnant,
Okay.
which would have been a cool concept. Like that to me, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, the actual plot of the movie is very similar to that, except it has nothing to do with like Peter Parker or anything like that. It's
So who-
literally the villain who is ADR'd super poorly. They must have reshot scenes and rewrote a lot of his lines of dialogue because, you know, when you're like looking at the back of somebody's head and they're talking, you can tell that what they're saying is not what they're saying.
Those words.
Yeah.
So there's those scenes, but then there's scenes where he's looking right at the camera, and the lines of dialogue are not matching up with his mouth
That's so
at
bad.
all. They didn't even try. And so the whole plot is just this random rich dude who stole a spider for its spider powers, who got cursed by the spider people, saw a vision of spider women killing him in the future, and so he's just on a vengeful mission to kill those spider people, who happen to be teenage girls, mind you, before they become spider people. But we never see them become spider people.
Oh man.
Ever.
And I'm so
That's the whole
disappointed
plot of the movie.
because Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Merner are three of my biggest celebrity crushes.
And you know what's sad? I've never seen those actresses in anything else. Ever.
Really?
And, yep. And so,
You're not a
My-
50 Shades of Grey fan?
my first experience with these actresses,
Only the
they're
books.
some of the worst actors I've ever seen.
Really? They're
They're
pretty good. And stuff.
Awful.
Sydney Sweeney is like, she's coming up. Like she's on the rise right now.
She's in
Well, like I said,
everything.
I've never seen him in anything else.
Yeah.
Have you seen you? So you haven't seen Euphoria then?
No.
No, I
That's
haven't
like
either.
her breakout role.
This episode should be titled / Madam Web review.
So wait, who's Madam Web? Is it Dakota Johnson?
Dakota
Sydney
Johnson.
Sweeney? So what's Sydney Sweeney? Is she Spider Woman?
I think she was supposed to be Spider Woman.
There's a vision of her being Spider Woman, but every clip of Spider Woman that you see in the trailer that's it in the movie. That's all you see.
And it's just her like in a black. Isn't it black? Like all black
It's a
suit?
black suit with like white hands and feet and a white mask, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. You don't really get to see it. It's literally 14 seconds.
Why did they make this then?
That's what everybody's asking.
Oh, it's so strange.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's terrible.
So back to when the MCU Marvel was producing good films. Let's segue back there.
Okay.
This
So-
whole conversation spiraled off of yes, thank you.
Well done.
I use that all the time. They'll be like talking about other stuff. I'm like, great, but let's talk about this instead. I picked Age of Ultron second because I rewatched it recently, like it was on TV, and that movie gets like overshadowed a lot. It's a really good movie. I also stated how I am with Guardians of the Galaxy. But like they'd be interchangeable. I could see why other people would put Guardians above it. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just I think Age of Ultron. This is a personal list for me, and personally, I have that higher.
Is Age of Ultron the one where like the whatever is like flying away, like the land is
The
flying
country?
away? Yeah,
Yes.
A whole country gets lifted up into the yes, that's
Yeah,
this movie.
and Iron Man carries it.
just checking.
Literally carries it. Not like the kids say he carried that. No, he actually carries it.
And we lose a sort of main superhero-ish character,
Yes,
right?
we get our first taste at Sacrifice.
Yeah, it's
Was he one of the
Aaron
main
Taylor
ones?
Johnson,
Yeah.
who will be coming in as Craven the Hunter later this year.
Oh, that'll be another gem pumping out.
God,
this
man,
year.
Shameless
you know what?
plug.
You know what? I don't. The thing is it can't be worse than Madam Web, no matter
I
how
don't
bad
know.
it is.
I thought Morbius was the worst thing they could ever make.
I did too.
And they've topped it apparently.
But like,
That's why I need to see it. Like I need to see.
but like,
it
Madam Web
worse
isn't
than
just
Morbius.
isn't just the worst superhero movie I've ever seen. It might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Well,
Thank God you
it
didn't
got a
drag your dad to see
1%
this
on
one.
Rotten Tomatoes, right?
I
which
got
is, like, infamous.
15. I'll check now.
But yeah, Craven the Hunter. There's no feasible way that it could be anywhere close to this. Like,
You say that now.
like Morbius. Like, let's just say on a scale of 1 to 100, Morbius is like a 20. Madam Web is literally a -6. There's no movie. I wouldn't even consider it a movie.
Wait, how long is Madam Web?
Too long.
It
I fell
is-
asleep for
it's
20
an
minutes in
hour
the
and-
movie.
Hour and 57 minutes.
Oh, that's way too long.
That's brutal.
Oh,
At
2
least,
hours.
at least Venom 2 was like 90 minutes. We're in, we're out. It was bad. We moved on with our lives.
Yeah. Wasn't Venom 2 the first movie we ever saw, Andrew? Or is that
Yeah.
Venom 1?
No, it was Venom 2.
Yeah, it's the first movie we ever saw in theaters together.
Oh yeah, so the tomato meter gave Madam Web a 13.
Oh,
Audience gave it a 55.
They're
that's
wrong.
not true.
They're wrong. Nope.
So yeah. Anyway,
I think we lost track again.
we did. This is just like that's all right. This is the same results I have with my kids too, so this works.
Oh, man. I didn't get
right.
anything done.
You don't. That's the
Oh,
thing.
okay, cool.
All right. Third choices, people.
You're up third.
My third was I already said was Guardians, so I'll just.
Oh yeah.
I'll throw that right now.
So my third is Age of Ultron.
As is mine.
These last 3 are tough.
They are.
Quick shout out for Age of Ultron. Even though Ultron was kind of a crappy villain, James Spader,
Let's say James.
man,
Spader, yeah.
is phenomenal. Like
Like,
his voice acting is insane.
Well, they did a lot with Ultron and What If, and that was like really cool.
He's just menacing. Like
Yeah, he is.
he sounds scary when even no matter what he says to you, the way he delivers his lines, it's intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Well done.
Yes. So the last 3. For my next pick, I had Ant-Man.
I didn't originally have Ant-Man, and then I put it there last second. So
Okay.
I also have Ant-Man as 4. Just because it's not my favorite superhero, but like Paul Rudd brings so much to it.
I love Paul Rudd.
And how funny it is and how silly it is. And I really like the sequences with, what is his name, Louise,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
where he like says he talks and you see what he's saying. Like those sequences are really fun.
They're awesome.
Ant-Man's also mine as
Okay,
well.
Cool. I remember when Ant-Man came out, and there was a movie was called Ant-Man, and I told like I wanted to see it, like I wanted because it was Marvel, and then my parents were like, Ant-Man, like really, and so I remember my grandmother took my sister and I to see it, and then it came out on DVD, and I made my parents watch it, and they were like, all right, you know, you're right, that was a lot I mean, he makes fun of it in this. He's like,
It's
I didn't have
movie.
it. Is that name set in stone? Ant-Man.
Yeah, it's a fun
It's-
movie. I think if you had anybody other than Paul Rudd, it might not be that great.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yep.
It's one of those weird movies, though. It's like if you have MCU movies, like a bunch of them,
Mhm.
when are you gonna pick to watch Ant-Man?
That's
You're like,
Yeah.
I'll watch this instead. Like it'll get overshadowed forever, but it isn't a bad movie.
no, by no means. Cool.
And then I had Iron Man 3 next. I think
As
Dark
did
World
I.
is unanimously one of the worst movies ever made.
I don't know, man. You don't know. I could have flip flopped them.
I don't think you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I have
did
Iron
you?
Man 3. Yeah.
Even
Dark
how
World
bad that like Mandarin not being a supervillain was there, like it's still not as bad.
That was like the dumbest reveal ever.
Yeah.
So strange. I watched it relatively recently. He's not even Iron Man for most of the movie.
No, he's not.
He's not.
It's a Tony Stark movie.
Yeah, which is fine. Like I
It's
said, I
about
like to hang out with.
PTSD. It's a very interesting take on it.
Yeah, I like to hang out with Tony Stark, but like he's not even like asshole Tony Stark. He's like downtrodden Tony Stark, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I want if you're not gonna be Iron Man, I want like the quick little like sarcastic comments and like the kind of being an asshole Tony Stark, not this like, oh no, weapons and we're killing people and
I'd also as just a sidebar, Iron Man 3 was the first film of Phase 2, the 7th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Robert Downey Jr. stayed through it the rest of the time. Like, that was his last solo movie, even though he's the face of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, that's just I don't know, that there's something to be said about that.
I think he enjoyed the role too, though.
Oh, definitely.
I think he definitely had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
It suits him for sure.
And this is what got him back. Like, this was his, second chance, and he didn't mess it up.
No, it blew up from there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, he'll be synonymous with Iron Man till he dies. He's like Daniel Radcliffe with Harry Potter. Like,
Right.
there's just no way around it. This is just what you're remembered for.
I feel like RDJ does a better job than Daniel Radcliffe does, but that's also because he started when he was 10.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah, he's a child for half.
no, but it's one of those the actor matches the role and they will forever be that role, no
Yeah.
matter how many times they're recast or the movies are remade. They're always going to be. You're always going to compare it to that person.
Although we're apparently getting a 8-season Harry Potter show relatively soon, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah,
Or 7-season,
On
whatever it is.
Max. Yeah.
yeah, because it's supposedly a season per book.
Did they cast
is-
a Harry Potter?
I have no idea. I haven't paid much attention to that, to be honest with
I
you.
haven't either, but I just
don't want it.
remembered that they're doing that.
Yeah, add that to the
already.
list of things nobody's asked for.
The movies, there's so much you could do with the world of Harry Potter.
Why can't we have a Neville Longbottom parents show?
Yes.
Is-
Give me
No,
the First World War.
no,
the First
I don't
Wizarding
know that
War.
we need that
We
either.
need that. His parents are awesome.
The Order of the Phoenix, there's so much they could do. There's so much world
Order of
building.
the Phoenix, yes. But
What about okay, fine.
The long bottoms.
I'll take that back. I'll take that back. How about following the Blacks? Sirius
Okay,
Black,
yeah, no, that could
The
be
Red
all of
interesting.
them. That would be cool. Or the Malfoys,
Or even Voldemort.
or a Tom Riddle show.
I want
Yeah.
a prequel show on Dobby.
No, Creature.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping
Just
up with the
Creature's
house
early
elves.
life.
it's just him doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just him dusting the house.
That's the thing.
Or-
My life as a middle-aged housewife.
How the dragon ends up in Gringotts.
The Real House Elves of New Jersey.
Yeah, you could go anywhere with those shows.
All right. But so, our Phase 2 list is very, very consistent. Only off on 2, which I'm happy to switch mine for the agreement list there. How we all had Captain America, the Winter Soldier as our first pick. And our bottom 3 were all unanimous. It was Ant-Man, Iron Man 3, and Thor the Dark World. The only discrepancy was I had Age of Ultron second, the other 2 had Guardians second, and vice versa. I'm okay with moving Guardians to being second, so we'll just put that on there now.
I just remember when they get arrested, and you know how they like pan through each character and like tell you a couple like sub points about them. That was the trailer for the movie, and they didn't show you much more about it for Guardians. And I was like, that's like the perfect trailer. Like you want to know what they did and who they are and what they're doing. So, I just remember that. That was like a good ad campaign for that movie.
I told Colby, I'm gonna be in Alaska this summer for a trip. Not the whole summer, but I will be away when Deadpool 3 comes out.
What? In Alaska?
Yeah.
That sounds like a mistake. You should cancel that.
I was gonna say, Steve, it looks like you and me are taking a trip to the movie theater.
In Alaska?
I'll go wherever I need to see that movie.
No,
So I was telling him,
like
I
a
was
first
like,
weekend see.
that's the thing. If
I was
don't
thinking
see
even
it,
opening night, man.
this is gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy for me. If I don't see that thing opening weekend, like I'll be on a cruise ship. I'll be with my phone. I cannot avoid spoilers.
Oh, first world problems for Andrew on his cruise ship.
And Andrew knows damn well that we're not waiting.
No, and I'm not asking you guys to. I told Colby, I was like, I'm gonna find a movie theater near like the hotel before we get on the ship. I'm like, but how am I gonna get there? Like, how am I gonna get? I will figure it out. I will see that movie. I'll make them play it on the cruise ship.
That would be cool.
I could pull a Mark Ruffalo and just record half the movie in my pocket and like listen to it if you want.
You know what? I might take you up on that. All right. So now what we're gonna do is, so we've done our Phase 1 and our Phase 2 rankings. I'll just go through those again there. Our Phase 1 was Avengers, Iron Man 2, Captain America the First Avenger, Thor, and the Incredible Hulk. Phase 2 was Captain America the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Iron Man 3, and Thor the Dark World. So now we're going to try and merge these.
Are we going to work our way top to bottom or
It's not stopping! I guess we just have to ride it out, guys. It's almost done.
I was thinking, once the crowd calms down.
We're good.
No, I still hear it. Maybe that's just you in the background. Anyway, I was thinking we would do. I feel it make more sense to go bottom to top because we're more in agreement.
Going bottom to top's definitely the way to go.
I'll tell you right now, Captain America: Winter Soldier is going to be number 1.
We just said bottom to top.
I know, but I'm making it. I'm just putting that out there.
It was taking me a second to process what just happened because I thought we were at the bottom still, and he said Captain America: Winter Soldier, and I was like, nope, that's not right.
Just for when we get there, I'm making a prediction
man.
then. All right, at the bottom,
It's got to be Dark World. Hulk is
Alright.
better than Dark World.
I was gonna say, since you're the only one who's seen Hulk, where would you put that?
Yeah, it's better than Dark World.
Okay, well, careful. Alright, and then...
Although Dark World's like important in the further phases in a weird way.
It is, yeah.
Only in that one movie.
Yeah.
Are we all in agreement to put the Incredible Hulk right above it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright, so I'm gonna clear those. So I was gonna clear those out. Alright, so next...
I'd like to make a petition for Thor.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
I will make that happen. I'm gonna close.
Are we just gonna rotate back and forth between phases?
I think that's the
That
best way to do it.
Might be what happens here.
I don't know, because right here though, because I'd probably put Iron Man 3 next, Ant-Man, and then Captain America First Avenger.
See, I might go Iron Man 3, Captain America, then Ant-Man.
So you think Ant-Man's origin is more important than Cap's origin?
I don't think it's more important. I think I enjoyed it more.
Okay, so I'm gonna also go Iron Man 3.
Yeah, so just draft.
Yeah, I was
gonna
gonna say that.
Sure.
That's gonna
Yeah. Okay, so I do think the Cap origin obviously is, I think, better, and sets up a lot more for the future of the MCU than Ant-Man does. But I do think Ant-Man's a more fun movie. I think it's more... I think you're going to enjoy watching an hour and 40 minutes of Ant-Man more than you are 2 hours of a Captain America, the first Avenger.
It's a pretty serious movie.
And honestly, I think if I were to sit down and I had to pick which one I would want to rewatch, I'd probably pick Ant-Man.
If
Of
you
the
only had
two.
the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So I
was
think I'm
my
going to go
mindset
Ant-Man
there.
next myself.
You can go with that.
Cool. Alright.
I think we'd
Then
be
we'll put
screwed
Captain
without these
America right
visuals.
I know.
Yeah, no. We would have no idea
Yeah,
where we were.
I wonder how this is going to sound as a podcast while we're looking at the list right here.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
I should have numbered these.
All 7 of them will let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, might be 8. Might be gaining a new viewer. Been
Oh,
talking to
wow.
some people
2
about it.
two of them are me. I just rewatched it on 2 different platforms.
This is I do Spotify only, so it's because
So-
I pay for Spotify Premium.
I'm
not
gonna
YouTube
go-
Premium.
Iron Man 2.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you there.
And then Avengers Age of Ultron right above it.
So, Age of Ultron is number 5.
Yeah.
I think our list is looking pretty similar to most lists I've seen on the internet.
Yeah.
I would put.
Ooh.
I'm gonna
This
put,
is tough.
I'll go Guardians next.
I was going to say Iron Man.
I was gonna say Guardians would go next.
But
just
Guardians.
I just think Iron Man's too important to drop below the top 3.
It is very important. No, yeah, put Guardians.
Okay.
I understand, like, Guardians is probably more fun to watch than Iron Man, like, comically.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, Iron Man's just too important.
Then we'll put Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I'd put
Yep.
Iron Man 3.
And then I think we know how we're rounding out the last 2, right?
I would put Captain
Avengers.
America first, and then
Avengers and then Captain America.
Yeah.
as in Avengers would go second or first?
Second, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I think Captain America: The Winter Soldier is definitely the best movie out of both phases.
Yeah. All right, let me just.
I think it hits a snag in Phase 3.
There's just that movie is next to a perfect movie. Superhero movie, spy movie, whatever you want to call it, is literally just such a perfect movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, this is looking like a.
I don't know how you even it'll be hard to get Phase 3 in there, but I don't even know how you get 4 and 5 in there.
No.
Like,
So
do you
Which
just
is
shove
why.
it all at the bottom?
obviously we haven't gotten to that point yet. So I'm assuming going forward, the way it'll work is we'll make our tier list for Phase 3, and then we'll go to compare it to the Phase 1 and 2 list. We'll literally just have to go, oh, is it better than Dark World? Yes or no? Is it better than, and work our way up the ladder.
Yeah.
But the real question is do we at some point want to sprinkle in the shows? Because there's a lot of shows, and most of them are technically important to the MCU.
They're in 4, though, right?
Yeah, we were
Yes.
just doing the Infinity Saga right now.
Okay, all right. So yeah, we don't have to worry
so
about
we
the shows
wouldn't have
then.
to worry.
And then
about
we
it,
can
yeah.
do like a master list
right.
at the end of just like everything.
If we,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What are
think
we?
Echo is the only thing I haven't seen.
I haven't seen that or the Marvels.
I was gonna say I haven't seen the Marvels, Echo, or Miss Marvel.
Or What If Season 2 I haven't seen.
Or I haven't
Yeah.
seen What If, but
What are we?
oh,
Colby,
I haven't
can you see
seen
what we're
Werewolf
at for,
by
like,
Night.
we're at
required?
54 minutes.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Do we want to go through Phase 3 now, or do we want to end it off here?
Doesn't matter to me.
I think we could do it.
I think so too.
I've got my list locked and loaded.
Yeah, as
I
do
do too,
I.
so.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So, Phase 3.
I think this one's way harder.
This is going to be a lot harder. And
Never
I
mind
have,
adding it in.
So if you're listening, well, it's like here's your like intermission. Go pee if you're listening, or take us with you.
Go
I
take a
don't know,
1 or a
listen-
2.
Listen while you take your piss. I don't know.
Words I never thought I'd hear Andrew say.
I hope I don't lose my job for this.
I find it highly unlikely that one of the 8 people listening is somebody that works at where you are.
This is why I haven't advertised the podcast. Um. So, MCU Phase 3. The films we have, and there are a lot of them: Captain America: Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Thor: Ragnarok, Black Panther, Avengers: Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers: Endgame, and Spider-Man: Far From Home, which I wasn't sure if we were including that on here
I'm
as
including
Infinity
it
Saga. Okay.
Yeah, I have mine on on the list.
because
Okay.
I include the Infinity Saga up to the end of Phase 3.
Okay. Because I know, like, there's, like, technicalities there. So
Yeah.
that works for me. I'll remove that asterisk and question mark.
I want to start us off with Infinity
Captain
War
Marvel
as
at
my
the
number
bottom.
one.
Steve, what did you say?
I said you can put Captain Marvel at the bottom right now.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Captain
yeah.
Marvel's my bottom tier one.
And I have to agree with you, Colby,
But Infinity War is my number one.
as was mine.
see, I had trouble. I know I know Infinity War is probably a better movie, but
Steve, what are you gonna say?
Endgame is just
Oh,
it's
okay.
Endgame. Like
What did you think he was going to say?
It's the end.
I don't know, man. I thought he was gonna throw like Thor Ragnarok or something, which is great, but
It's no Endgame or Infinity War. I
Yeah.
mean, I essentially think if you guys have Infinity War 1, I have Endgame 1. You guys probably have Endgame 2,
yep.
right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
they're kind of interchangeable. I think it's hard to determine which one. Why do you pick Infinity War over Endgame?
There's more. Well, honestly, it's because of all the interactions we get. Like,
Interaction? Like
as
character
in, like,
interaction?
Tony Stark and Star-Lord, like, that scene is unrivaled.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a good. I don't know. There's that. There's a lot of team ups. There's the build up, and I think experiencing that when Thanos snapped, and like he actually won.
Yeah.
That's something
That's
that
crazy.
I don't think any other superhero movie had ever done before. To have such a mass capacity, like I can remember the year between Infinity War and Endgame, how much hype there was, and maybe it's because, enough to say, like, Endgame didn't have the same after effect for it there, but like with Infinity War, it left us with something like we could theorize, like what can we talk about, and then Endgame kind of wrapped up the story. So I think there was more hype around Infinity War. That's personally why I put it up there.
Well, also remember too, it was like Infinity War Part 1, Part 2. Like it wasn't even Endgame for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta
It was-
say, for Infinity War, it's literally just a nonstop roller coaster ride.
Yeah, this is true.
It starts and it
Right.
doesn't end until the
No.
movie's over. You never get a moment to just sit back and like try to figure out what just happened. It's just
No,
it jumps
you go
from scene to
place
scene
to
to scene.
place, and then you're like, oh, I forgot about that person. Like, and then they get back to them there.
And you know, Endgame is awesome.
It is, yes.
I can't even tell you how many times I've gone back and just rewatched the finale 40
The
minutes
portal scene.
Yeah.
over and over again. But like, I agree with Andrew. I think the character interactions and the specific team dynamics that they set up with like the certain characters and the little teams that they
And, like,
give
that's
them
not to say-
put together. I think it's just so much fun seeing the different characters from greatly different backgrounds interact with each other.
Like,
Yeah.
seeing, I don't know, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, like, even them. But then, that's not to say Endgame doesn't have those. Like, I think Ant-Man was honestly the biggest comic relief in Endgame. Just, like, how out of place he was with everything. But, like, I mean, like, these are, like, two pieces of cinema that, like, we'll never have that. I don't think in my lifetime again we'll have what we experienced with these two films here.
No.
No, I mean they're like the
This
They're-
is a swan song for the MCU essentially too.
yeah, the distance between them for me is like a tiny margin.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's not like I don't agree. I just by the slightest margin, just because it wraps everything up. I
Yeah.
think Endgame is just slightly higher, but I'm fine with Infinity War going first.
Cool.
Colby,
And
is
it's
there
just like I said
a
earlier.
spider
Like
over
it
there?
just depends on the day of the week. If you ask me on today which one I like better, I'll say Infinity War. You could ask me tomorrow. I might want to watch Endgame instead. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, these were 1 and 2 guaranteed. I think these are the tough ones to enter into the top of the
Yeah,
overall list.
I think I feel like we all might be pretty close for our third choice, but then I think after that, it's gonna be a little bit more mixed up.
Yeah.
So for my third choice, I had Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah, I had Civil War too.
Same.
Civil War, just like that whole airport sequence is like a top
That's-
5 sequence in
It was-
all of the
yeah.
MCU.
Even though it was a Captain America movie, it was literally an Avengers movie.
Yeah, for sure. And like you get Captain Marvel and Iron Man like squaring off at the end, which is cool in its own right.
Captain America.
Is that what I said?
This is Captain Marvel.
Oh
I
my
was
bad.
confused for a second.
That's all right.
I was
I
like-
knew what you
I
meant,
was like,
but
wait a
I just
minute.
wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, I meant Captain.
I was like, what movie
America.
is he talking about?
Yeah, cool. My next pick, and like I said, just looking at, I'm gonna stick to what I wrote down, but I'm looking at this list now, and I'm thinking I could definitely swap these around. I had Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Wrong.
Okay, but that's what I had, so I'm gonna put it there anyway.
Oh, yeah, I just with you.
Just how fast you were to say that.
It
Wrong.
didn't matter what I already had that in my head, so no matter what you said, it was just gonna be
Even
wrong.
if I had said what you said.
Yeah, I said
Okay.
Ragnarok.
Okay. Colby, what did you have?
He's still rattled. Give him a second.
Sorry, I was looking
Okay.
at the spreadsheet. I didn't see he
So-
was catching his breath.
I did have trouble picking which one I wanted above the other. Like, I had a really hard time, and I'm still not convinced that I picked it in the right order.
That's
But
yeah.
I have Homecoming right now first.
Wow, okay.
Number 4.
Yep, and then I have Ragnarok right
Nice.
underneath it.
As do I.
I
Actually-
have Homecoming way down my list.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm not a Spider-Man
do.
guy.
No, I don't. I had one more in between Ragnarok.
Maybe my list sucks. I don't
Which is
know.
crazy because I don't like. No, I'm thinking about this now. I'm like, no, I could make the argument that that Thor is better than what I did have.
Wait, Colby had Homecoming there.
No, I thought. Oh, you're right. Yeah. You get,
Yeah, and then I have Ragnarok
sorry,
right
I
underneath
had
it.
the wrong thing copied there.
I just don't want to get confused.
Yeah, no. There you go. And then, so what did you have after Thor Ragnarok, Steve?
I had Guardians 2.
That's what I had next.
Okay. So my list isn't that bad.
No. And
Well-
then I had Ragnarok.
We just
I wouldn't
we just-
say that.
But Guardians 2 is my favorite of the Guardians franchise.
Well, you got Mary Poppins, y'all.
That's
Yeah.
a great line.
That, like, and I may have said this on here before, the usage of the soundtrack in that movie helps tell the story.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but it opens up with Mr. Blue Sky, and Baby Groot dancing to that is just everything I could have ever asked for.
That's like the big space battle with like the octopus looking thing, right?
Yeah.
That one's awesome.
And they're all trying to, like, get Groot out of the way, and he's just trying to dance.
Yeah, it's like one of the best openings of any of the Marvel movies.
And I think, like, honestly, like, Baby Groot is a big part of that, why it's
yeah.
just awesome.
Groot
but,
as
like-
an adult like just doesn't hit the same.
No, it doesn't.
You're like,
I wish we
it's
had
a tree. Like
I wish we had more Baby Groot.
It's a log.
yeah.
Like
Baby
I haven't
Groot.
watched the I Am Groot show, but like I'm happy they made it.
Yeah. Little shorts.
Yeah.
That's some
no,
toilet watching right there if you ever need something.
and it won't take up too much time either.
Exactly.
I don't know, like Fathers and Son, how they use that song, how they use Fleetwood Mac in there, like Brandy, like you're like I don't know. It's just like I'm a big music guy, so like to me like that connection is awesome for me.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Guardians movies, just have incredible soundtracks in general. But
Oh yeah. So wait, going back, Homecoming number 4 for you guys. Well, why basically?
I mean, it's just a really good Spider-Man movie. I think,
It's like a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man movie.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't like go above and beyond. You know, the Vulture, I guess, is a ground level villain. Michael Keaton's awesome in it. Like that twist of him being
The
what was
dad.
her name? Liz.
I don't know.
Was
Sure.
it Liz or I don't want to get that wrong.
Yeah, it was Liz.
Liz's dad. Like that like I just remember the audible gasp I heard in the theater seeing that. So like there's the moments like that, like the things that I remember from that movie. And then Robert Downey Jr. isn't in that movie as much as I remember him being.
No.
Like he's only in it maybe for 15, 20 minutes.
If that, I don't even think it's that long. I think it's like literally like 8 minutes.
Yeah, and then I think Peter and Ned's friendship is like awesome.
Did he drop the Death Star in this one?
Yeah, and he gets caught watching porn
Nice.
when he's actually like hacking the Vulture. If you haven't seen that movie,
So yeah, same reasons as Andrew. I just think it is an overall well-made movie.
it's
Prior
fun.
to that, I was never a big Spider-Man fan. Before
Really?
Spider-Man: Homecoming came out, I had never seen the two Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
So I had no context for that, but I just wasn't interested.
You didn't see the Tobey Maguire ones either?
I did see the Tobey Maguire ones. I had seen all three of those countless times, but I was never like in love with them. Like I didn't really care. I was like, oh, it's a superhero movie. And again, prior to Iron Man coming out, that was like the best we had of superhero movies.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I was never a huge Spider-Man fan, but Spider-Man: Homecoming changed that for me. I ended up, I don't know if it was Tom Holland or what it was, but like something about it I became a Spider-Man fan because of that movie.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
And my Spider-Man fandom has been seen through and through because I did go see Madam Web for 2 hours. So
This is true. This is
I
true.
just want to point out my loyalty.
Throw that out there again in case
I remember.
listeners didn't know.
I don't remember how old I was, but I went through a Spider-Man kick when I was a kid. Like there was a cartoon that was probably on, and when I saw the live-action Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like I just remember like I was like in shock. Like that was the coolest thing ever to me. And then I remember like Spider-Man 2 with Alfred Molina being better than the first one. And then I remember like I don't think I hated on the third one as much as everyone else did, just because I was young. Like I was probably, I think if that came out in 2007, then I was 6 then. So take with that what you will. But like I always held them in high regards, and then rewatching them leading up to No Way Home, like they all do really well. I will stand by the fact that I think Kirsten Dunst's MJ is a very, very, very toxic girlfriend. But that's not relevant to anything we're talking about now. That's just my opinion.
Nice.
So that's why.
Cool.
Um,
And we all got Thor relatively high. I think we all know why.
yeah.
So
That's like the best
fun.
Thor movie.
It's like fun wall to wall.
Yeah.
Like, wacky and spastic, and like he's like Hulk, and he's like, oh, he's a friend from work. Like,
I love how that line was improvised too.
all of it was so good.
I remember going into Thor Ragnarok before we got a trailer for it. How much I remember I was looking forward. How much I was not looking forward to that movie.
I think everybody was that way.
Because Thor: The
Yeah.
Dark World was terrible, and then they're making a movie called Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Like,
Even
just,
in the Avengers, Thor wasn't great. I mean, he wasn't bad,
no,
but like he still wasn't great even in the Avengers movies.
yeah, and then we get the green guy who Steve's holding up.
Oh god, this is the one that's 30
I
seconds
was
long.
gonna say, is this the last one?
Oh no.
Wait, Colby, try muting yourself.
Wait, if I click a different one, maybe. There we go.
Cool. So yeah, there's that. I lost my train of thought there. So
Right.
sorry. Oh, we were talking about Ragnarok. Yeah, Hulk. I think that's the best Hulk we've seen. Like that's the Hulk. He's smashing things,
He is indeed smashing things.
and
Yes.
it's like I don't know. Like that's a good dynamic between Bruce and the Hulk there too. Like I think from what we've seen of the Hulk, that's my favorite. What they've done with him so far.
I like him in the Avengers when he's like, I'm always angry, and he
That's
just
true.
like
In First
smashes
Avengers, yeah.
the Leviathans and stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
a great line too. Yeah, and then Korg's awesome.
Korg. My name's Korg.
I was trying to start a revolution, but I forgot to print enough pamphlets.
All right, so I got where are we at? Guardians.
Yeah, what's
Guardians.
yours underneath Guardians?
I have Doctor Strange here.
I think Oh, sorry. I'll just put that there next.
I didn't. Okay, so I'm gonna preface this with I don't like Black Panther as much as everyone else does because I feel
Okay.
like Black Panther is like the movie that should probably be in this spot, but
Mhm.
I just really enjoy the like. I didn't know anything about Doctor Strange, so I
Yeah.
enjoyed the movie because I didn't know anything about Doctor Strange. Like everything about him and his character and how he developed through the course of the movie and like his character like flaws and unique style to him is all brand new to me. So and I
Yeah.
enjoyed the world building that it had, just like basically like the Inception nature of it, where like the
Mhm.
world folded up in it on itself. And I also like what's his name, Mads Mikkelsen, like the bad guy. He wasn't
Yeah.
a great villain in the movie,
I forgot
but
he was
like
in that.
I like Mads Mikkelsen, so that also helped.
Mhm.
And what's his name, Mordor,
Morbius.
Morbius,
Dormammu.
Madam Web.
Oh wait, no, yeah. Mordo.
Mordor.
Dormammu. I have
Mordo?
come to bargain.
Dormammu.
Wait, yeah, Mordo. That was
So
the
I have
guy's
Strange.
name,
I have Doctor Strange here.
I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as my spot.
I
Pretty close.
already gave Guardians of the Galaxy 2. After Thor Ragnarok, I had Spider-Man Far From Home.
You're not going to like where I put that on my list.
Yeah, it's
I-
pretty low on my list too. Is it last for you? That's crazy. If that, well, second to last.
Yeah,
Let
it
me-
is.
Well, I'll put yours there then.
You don't like Mysterio?
No, I hated Mysterio.
I like Jake Gyllenhaal, but I was not a giant fan of Mysterio. But
Yeah,
Far
I
From
will.
Home's
I
good.
guess I don't know. I'll defend it. I don't know. Maybe because this one came out after Endgame, and so we were all kind of concerned on how it was, and it was. I mean, to me, it was still a good movie. I enjoyed it seemingly more than Kobe. I was not convinced Mysterio was dead though. Like it was. I don't know. I'm upset. That's one of those things. Like I really thought that he was gonna be a part of No Way Home or Far. No,
I was
No
going
Way
to say,
Home,
he
sorry.
seems
They're
pretty
so
dead.
confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just because his whole thing was like, I'm blanking on the term for it, but like the technological things with all the simulations.
Or like
Like,
the
I
droid
had-
imagery and all that.
Yeah, and how. And I think the biggest thing for me was, at the end of that movie, he reveals Peter Parker's identity. But like, when did he do that? Like, when did he make that recording? Because we saw Spider-Man fight him up to the end, and in that recording, he's up on that bridge.
It's a good point.
So
Loophole.
that's where I get
Plot
the
hole.
idea there. And so then when
Butthole.
Far From Home was coming out and everyone was
Madam
predicting,
Webhole.
yeah, Morbius. This is a Morbius-sized hole in our plot.
Jesus Christ, they're getting
Um,
nowhere.
So when No Way Home was coming out and everyone was trying to figure out who the sixth member of the Sinister Six was going to be, I thought it was going to be Mysterio. They ended up just not having one, but that's my defense for that one there. What did you
Nice.
guys have after that?
This is where. Go ahead.
I had Black Panther in that spot.
Me as well. Only because Killmonger is cool.
Killmonger is pretty sick.
He's like the best villain behind like Loki and Thanos,
He's pretty sick.
and he's only there for one movie.
Also, Andy Serkis, I think, is like hilarious in that movie. He's just like, he's a lunatic.
What's his name? Klaus?
Claw. Like, I don't think the Claw character is necessarily a great character,
No.
but like, I love Andy Serkis.
Oh yeah, he's great in everything.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I did have Black Panther next on my list, so I'll just throw that there. Yeah, I know. I remember seeing that one, and I remember I read in some interview because this was like when Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok were coming out, this is back in the day where I was looking at Marvel news every day. I wanted to read everything that was happening. Trying to stay away from spoilers, but like I just wanted to like know as much as I could, so if people had questions, I could answer them. And then I remembered seeing somewhere that I thought that Black Panther was going to be a direct like setup to Infinity War, and I think that they did that in the sense of just having Wakanda as a battleground.
Yeah, that's pretty much all they did was the.
Which I was happy
Wakanda.
about. Like it was its own thing, and it stood alone very well. But yeah, I don't know. It was a good movie. Again, I'm with you, Steve. I didn't care. It's a good movie. By no means is it.
I thought
good
it was
in any way.
overhyped.
Yeah. Which is why I try to see these movies opening night.
Yeah.
I remember like all the not even just like the critics, but even just like audience reviews. Like you would think it was like the next coming of Jesus Christ. This movie was like they were like it's the best movie ever made.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's all right.
I think to be fair though, like its cultural relevance was so
that's what
big,
it was.
and I get that part of it. Like it's super important
Which
to
is
have
great.
like that frontman black superhero. Like that was so
It
big.
was the
and
first
so important.
MCU movie to get like an Academy Award nomination too.
Yeah. So I get that relevance to it. Like I get the cultural piece of it, but like if you just strip that all away,
I was going to say, but
it,
that doesn't define something as a good movie.
yeah.
No.
If you just
Right,
look
it
at the
doesn't.
movie, it's just kind of like a standard MCU movie with like weird side characters, like Martin Freeman, like as the detective guy who like follows him around for half the movie, and
Yeah.
He's there.
yeah, he's just there. But Killmonger, like that mask that he wore, for
Yeah.
that
was sick.
awesome.
Yeah, he was. It was very very good, very well made film.
R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard a petition they were trying to get The Rock to be the next Black Panther, but I don't know. I think it fell through.
No, you got that mixed up. He ended up going with Black Adam.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
You're getting your. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. You know what I was gonna say. What did you guys have after Black Panther?
This is where I put Homecoming.
Okay.
And this is where I put Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Like I don't think I'm as high on Superman, on Spider-Man as everybody else. Although Miles Morales, I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
Those movies are fantastic.
There's so many, as we've discussed heavily on this episode specifically, iterations of a Spider-Man characters.
Yep.
But it is nice to like. I don't know. I think maybe my thing with Spider-Man 2 is growing up with it.
Yeah.
Like he's a teenage superhero. Like that, they don't have a lot of those.
No, for sure.
So that was definitely a big appeal to me.
If you had to pick like one Spider-Man movie to rule them all, which one is it?
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, it's got to be like that movie is almost perfect.
Yeah.
It's
Dr. Octopus and
that is a, as the youths would say, a goated movie.
Yes. The goat.
Nice. I mean, that train sequence is just like everyone knows the train sequence.
yeah.
Like the fight
And
with
you could
Doc
watch
Ock
it a
on
million
the train.
times and it never gets old.
No. So it's definitely got to be that one. Although I'm really hoping that this third, what is this
Spider-Verse.
one? I don't even know the sub names anymore.
Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I'm really hoping this one just like if it is as good as the second one, like this trilogy just is like incredible.
It'll be encapsulated as I think a perfect Spider-Man trilogy.
So I'm really hoping that they don't fumble the Rock on this one.
Well, maybe The Rock will be in it.
Let's hope not. 'Cause that would be a big fumble.
I'd love to see my man Dwayne.
But he's not animated. He's just real life.
Yeah.
It's
like
just
it's like
live action Dwayne
Who
Johnson.
Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah.
He goes, wait, this isn't Black Adam? Halfway through the movie.
It's like, did either of you see
Alright.
the Teen Titans go to the movies?
No.
No.
That was like PG Deadpool. It was really good. Stan Lee makes a cameo in it. He's like purposely it's animated so there's Stan Lee sweeping a broom in the background looking at the camera, and then someone's like says something and like runs on and he goes, "Wait," he goes, "This is a DC movie," and then he runs off the frame.
Nice.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess Colby's last pick because it's the only one.
I wonder what it could be.
Ant-Man
I'm
and
gonna
the
throw.
Wasp.
Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It sure is.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
So, Ant-Man and the Wasp is my second worst, and then Far From Home is above it, just slightly because it's.
So you had
just a
Ant-Man
little bit
right
better.
there. And then
I don't even
I also
remember Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I also had Ant-Man and the Wasp there, but I also had Doctor Strange a lot lower. So you had the two Spider-Mans back to back, Steve?
Yeah.
Just making sure I had that right. Okay. And then I'll fill in mine there for Doctor Strange. I'll read through these lists individually afterwards for our listeners because this is getting a bit confusing.
I think you could skip that. Let's just do an agreed list because that's just
Okay.
a lot of repeat movies
Yeah,
over
so
and over again.
And most of them are pretty much the same.
Yeah, they're like
If y'all
one
wanna-
line off.
Talk about
Infinity War can
Ant-Man.
go first for sure.
yeah, I'm just gonna move over the ones that we were in agreement on.
The top 3 list is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Civil War. And then Homecoming would be next by default. 2 against
Yeah.
1.
Homecoming
Yes.
and then Guardians.
So
Well, you got Ragnarok at 4, 5, and 6.
hang
So
on, I
would you
need
want to
I'm
put
gonna
that
put numbers here? Hang
put
on.
that next, and then
Well, I
drop
don't know,
Guardians
'cause-
down?
Because you guys have the Guardians at 5. 2 of them at 5. So I feel like that might... Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
But you have Ragnarok at 5.
That is
All right, so
true.
let's work bottom up now.
All right. Ant-Man's at the bottom.
Yeah, Ant-Man's at the bottom.
Which nothing against that movie. It's a good sequel, but it didn't do really.
This is a
anything.
pretty good phase overall.
Absolutely. This is
I mean, none of the phases are that bad in the first 3,
no.
but the one dud is definitely Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's all right.
Octopus Cat.
Okay.
The movie was just boring.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
So what I'm gonna do, just for I think making this easier on us, is once we put them on this list, I'm gonna take them off of here. So we can see where things stand.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So like,
For anybody listening, Andrew has just been promoted to our technical producer.
thank you.
And he's
this is-
like a wizard with whatever. What is
Yeah,
it
because I
called?
wouldn't be able to do
Google
that.
Sheets.
Google Sheets.
Oh, I have a mug that says I need a spreadsheet.
It would take me all day just to write this.
Yeah, I was
no.
going to say, I would not be able to do what you're doing right
So
now.
to show you guys, I had for the next part there. We can put our combined ranks there, and then we'll put so we do for 1 and 2, then 3, and then we can put those all together there.
That's the tough part.
All
I
them
guess.
audio listeners
Get
must
rid of
love
that.
this.
I know that's why I suggested maybe. This
Wait,
might
Colby,
be-
have you seen Madam Web yet?
No, I was actually planning on going and seeing an IMAX 4D the other day.
Oh.
Next
No,
week.
you should go see 5X.
Oh!
Maybe they'll spit on you at the end and tell
You know what I
"Ah."
still haven't seen?
What?
Blade Runner.
Me either.
I think about that regularly.
I'm working on it.
There's a second one that's apparently just as good.
Is there?
Nope.
Well, let me
Never see that one either.
let me get past the first 20 minutes of the first movie that I started back in October.
Didn't you buy that one too for like a few bucks?
No, I rented it twice.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I rented it once, watched 10 minutes the first night, didn't finish it, and then watched 10 minutes the second night, but I had to rent it again.
I don't even remember how we decided to like potentially do that one.
I have
It's
no
because
clue.
we were doing
Harrison
when
Ford.
the creator was coming out, and it had a
Oh, it
similar
was
plot.
similar. I haven't even seen the creator yet.
That you should watch.
Well, we
I
don't
will.
know if it had a similar plot because none of us have seen.
Yeah,
Blade
actually, I couldn't tell you. I've never seen Blade Runner.
Runner. Cool. So let's
Back on
figure this
track.
out now.
So this would be Far From Home here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was also afraid with Far From Home. If Jake Gyllenhaal had come back to be in No Way Home, this was right at the height from where Taylor Swift had released the 10-minute version of All Too Well, which is about Jake Gyllenhaal.
Is it really? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. That's about the extent to which I know about it.
Nice.
But I didn't want any Swifties getting mad at Mysterio, so.
By the visual here, Black Panther would be next.
Yep.
Would it be Black Panther? Or would it be Doctor Strange? Because we
It
have.
would be Black Panther.
But the 3 Black Panthers are still lower than all 3 Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep,
If that makes sense.
it does. Yeah.
Doctor Strange would be right above it, though.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so I'll get that.
And then My Homecoming, you can just erase that off of there.
Yeah, well, I'll keep it there for when we get there. Doctor Strange. Just making sure I'm not missing anything.
So
else.
the
All right,
4,
so
4, 5, and 6. Oh,
we're stuck between Spider-Man: Homecoming, Thor: Ragnarok, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I would
kind of
make...
like that order.
How I just read it?
The one that you just read.
All right, so that was Colby's list.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
All right.
I mean, in my head, I'd put Ragnarok above those 2, but I can see where Spider-Man would make.
Yeah.
Too.
No, I think it makes sense.
All right, cool. Then I'll just make this a little easier on myself. So our read list for
Copy
phase.
that over there and take me all day.
Yeah, so I just grab it all and then I hit Control C.
I don't know
And
what
then I
that
go over
does.
here. It's for copy. And then
I don't
click
use
here,
control functions on my computer at
and then
all.
I do Control V,
Nope.
and then
That's a file copy.
or you could also right click, copy,
There we go. Now
Yeah,
we're
that's what I
talking
would
my
do.
language.
right.
That's what I would do.
paste.
Whoa.
Hot
This
diggity.
is out of control.
Cool.
I
So
didn't think
I
would
will
learn so much on this podcast.
I will read the. I don't remember if I read the phase 1 and 2 list, so I'll start with
Yeah,
that.
you did.
I'll just do these again anyway.
Yeah, go for
Our
it.
phase 1 and 2 combined list is, and I'm gonna put numbers here too. First, we have Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Secondly is the Avengers. Third is Iron Man. Fourth is Guardians of the Galaxy. Fifth is Avengers: Age of Ultron. 6 is Iron Man 2. 7 is Captain America: The First Avenger. 8 is Ant-Man. 9 is Iron Man 3. 10 is Thor. 11 is The Incredible Hulk. And 12 is Thor: The Dark World. And I'm just going to number these because I lost track in my head and just had to guess as I kept going through there. Alright. And then for phase 3, in first place we have Infinity War. Endgame is second. Third place is Captain America: Civil War. Fourth is Spider-Man: Homecoming. Fifth is Thor: Ragnarok. Sixth is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Seventh is Doctor Strange. Eighth is Black Panther. Ninth is Spider-Man: Far From Home. 10 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. And 11th is Captain Marvel. So phase 3 is almost as long as both phase 1 and 2 combined.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, phase 4 is like all of them combined, right? With all the shows and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to zoom out on this. Just
All
a
right.
sec.
So my question is: so the best way to rank this would be to compare the starting at the bottom tier of each list. So we would take Captain Marvel and compare it. Is it better than Dark World? Yes or no. If it is, we'll go up a tier. Is it better than Incredible Hulk? You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right,
I think that might be the best way to do it. Should we start it at Infinity War or at Captain Marvel and work our way up?
I would think we should go up.
Okay.
So start from the bottom.
Yeah, start with Dark
Okay.
World and we'll work our way up.
Okay, so I'm going to put Dark World in last place.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
And while I'm going to unmerge those, and then I'll just do the numbers there again.
Jesus. So professional.
There's a reason Dark World is at the bottom of everybody's tier list.
Yeah.
The movie just sucks, man. It's so boring.
They waste like a good Natalie Portman too.
I know.
I don't blame her for not wanting to come back. And then she came back for 4, and yeesh, She really missed the good one in the middle there.
Yeah.
She quit too early.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Thor: The Dark World there, and I'm gonna remove that from that list so we don't forget about that. All right, so
So Thor: The Dark World is the 24th best movie in Phase 1. Or the Infinity Saga.
yes,
Yeah.
Hey, it made the top 25.
No hate to Chris Hemsworth. No hate to him.
so
It's just
I
a
guess
bad movie.
same issue we had with Phase 1 and 2. Steve, what would you put lower, Captain Marvel or the Incredible Hulk?
Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hulk's just a more interesting character.
See, I didn't hate Captain Marvel. I never
I didn't
understood
hate it.
the,
Like none of these Infinity War movies are like I can't watch that again. It's not like
Yeah.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which I probably will never watch
Yeah.
again.
Uh-huh.
Like, for example, the MCU has never made Madam Web.
This is
Okay.
true. This is true, yeah.
It's very
So-
true. Or Morbius.
Just want to throw that out there.
Right.
Or Black Adam.
All right, so I'd say
Yeah,
next would
exactly.
be
Or Morbius.
the Incredible Hulk would probably go
Or
next.
the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Or any of the DCEU movies. But anyways.
Except Suicide Squad, or Peacemaker.
Oh, yeah. Well, those were good. Those were
Those
good.
were good.
The Incredible Hulk next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say Thor right above that for me.
I would agree.
Yeah. Wow, Far From Home is going to be pretty
It's going to be down there, man.
down there.
Well, that just goes to show how good the lists actually, like the rest of them are.
So I'm gonna say Ant-Man and the Wasp is definitely number 20.
I'd go Far From Home next too.
I think I might go Iron Man 3 first.
I'd rather hang out with Iron Man.
Well, you can
I'm
hang out
gonna
with him.
say
Well, you can't, he's dead.
I'm gonna say Far From Home next. Yeah, I think Iron Man's more fun to hang out with.
Okay.
But definitely Iron Man next. People are just hearing clicks.
Yeah, all right. Can you...
They've made it this
Oh,
far.
I got something, guys. Hold on. It's 21 seconds.
Hard pause there.
That was a nice break.
All right, so above Iron Man 3, we're between Ant-Man and Black Panther. This is tough.
I'd rather watch Black Panther, just for Killmonger.
I think I might want to watch Ant-Man.
I would rather watch Ant-Man.
All right, then go
Okay.
with Ant-Man.
Steve's like, fine, whatever.
If we have to. You guys are so insistent on it. Okay. Captain
Ooh.
America, the First Avenger, or Doctor Strange?
That's another tough one.
I
I'm
would
gonna
rather
say-
watch Doctor Strange.
I was gonna say Doctor Strange. I would rather watch.
Yeah, I'd go Strange.
Cool. So, Captain going first there.
Don't you worry, people. We're gonna let you know exactly what these rankings are in the coming times after we figure this out.
In 12 movies.
Yes.
I counted.
We're
that
halfway
wrong.
there.
Okay. Ooh. All right. So now Iron Man 2 versus Guardians 2. This is.
I'm gonna say I'd rather watch Guardians 2.
I agree.
Sure.
Now, Steve, are you agreeing because you're outnumbered or because you feel that way?
No, I would probably would just because of like Yondu and
Mhm.
it's a more fun movie to watch for sure.
Like Yondu's death, like it gets me every time.
Oh yeah, Yondu dies in that one too.
Yeah. Spoilers. We should issue a spoiler warning for the Infinity Saga at the start of this.
Dude, I haven't seen that movie yet.
Where you been, brah?
Watching Madam Web.
You could have watched The Incredible Hulk instead.
No, I'd rather see Madam Web.
You would have got more out of it.
I've already seen it 4
Okay.
times.
Oh,
Well-
all right.
Ultron's got to be next.
Yeah, so
Ragnarok's
yeah.
way
Between-
better than Ultron.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Is Ragnarok for sure next?
Well, like, that's a good question. Let's take alternate. There.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I would argue Ragnarok is better than Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think so too.
Oh, I third that. Hands down.
I mean, Guardians is top 10.
But here's where it comes tricky again. I would also argue Ragnarok is better than Iron Man.
I don't know if I could agree with you.
It's just such a more fun movie.
It is. It is.
I
give credit where credit's due.
Oh.
Iron Man being the first one, but I think
Yeah.
Ragnarok's a better movie.
It's more fun to sit through.
Yeah, this
But-
is.
I also don't want Spider-Man: Homecoming that high, so
Well, unfortunately, it's already. Well, for the listeners, we're in our top 10 right now. It's already cracked the top 10.
Steve, I didn't know you liked Spider-Man: Homecoming that much.
I don't know.
All right, so who wants to put Iron Man above Thor Ragnarok? Is there a hand raise for that?
I think I do.
I do too. So,
It should be.
That's
above.
okay. That's okay.
So I
I'm
think
gonna
that
make my own
logic
list with
there.
Anton. What's his name? Anton, right?
Craig.
Craig.
All right, well, let's just.
These lists
Okay.
will be revised when we
Now-
do the next phase.
That
What
is
would
very
you-
true.
Right, what would you do here? Would you put Iron Man or Spider-Man Homecoming
I'd put Homecoming.
as next?
Yeah, but
Okay.
you guys probably want Homecoming next, right?
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would put Iron Man next.
I think
I think Homecoming is also more fun to watch than
I
Iron
do
Man.
too.
Okay.
But you know, you get Tony Stark in both of them.
True.
In Iron Man, he's a douche, and then in Spider-Man: Homecoming, he's trying to make sure Peter's not a douche.
Great translation.
All right, thanks. Would you rather watch The Avengers or Spider-Man: Homecoming?
Avengers.
I would say Avengers.
Good, so we'll put Homecoming there. All right, Steve,
Avengers over Civil War.
this is gonna get tough now.
I
right.
think I would rather watch Civil War than Avengers.
I agree.
I think so too, just because I saw Avengers recently, and like it's a little clunky compared to Civil War.
It is. No, you can definitely tell it was their first team up.
Oh, okay. Now, the Winter
This is
Soldier
interesting.
and Civil War.
This is interesting.
Does Infinity War and Endgame just have to go 1 and 2?
I
Yeah.
think.
I think they have to.
I
You
think.
can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think they have to by default.
And I think Winter Soldier makes the top 3.
I think
Yeah.
so as well. I
Over
think.
Civil
I-
War.
I think it goes Infinity War, Endgame, Winter Soldier, Civil
Civil
War.
War.
Okay.
That's
You
a
just-
solid list still.
You just can't put anything above Infinity War Endgame. Like you
No,
can argue
you can't.
that they're just 1A and 1B.
But the thing is those top 4 movies, I don't think will ever be shifted away.
Not at this point. Unless Deadpool 3
No.
is like miraculous.
I think Deadpool
True.
3 is going to be the multiverse of madness that we wanted.
Yeah, I really wanted the Multiverse of Madness to be better than it was.
Yeah, I was
I
very.
thought we were getting
You know-
like Tom Cruise Iron Man. Like that's what I thought
We
we were
all did.
getting.
There was that empty seat in the Illuminati, and then that's what people online were speculating that it was supposed to be the Tom Cruise, but like
And
couldn't do it.
you know what? Cameo we did get that was in that place instead, but in a different movie. The Nicolas Cage Superman in the Flash.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I mean, we still did get John Krasinski as Reed
Reed Richards.
Richards,
Which
which
I was-
everyone
that-
wanted, and they
that
delivered.
Took us by surprise. We were not expecting that.
And we got Professor X. I just wish we didn't get that in the trailer.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been in the trailer.
I know.
Like, can you imagine if Professor X showed
But-
up without
But the
the
thing
trailer?
is if they didn't show stuff like that, I don't think people would have been as excited.
I know, but
I
like,
don't. That film had such a high. The hype around it was so high, and it just. That's one that I want to rewatch because I feel like now that it's been,
I have not
2
ever
years.
watched it.
I feel
I
like I
haven't
might
either.
appreciate it a little bit more. Hopefully, I hope I'm not wrong there.
I remember though I hated Wanda in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like they
Like
same
she
thing
just
with
went off the deep
Mysterio.
end too much.
That's how they kill her off. Like you cannot convince me that's how she's dead. She's like the most powerful being in the MCU.
Well, apparently she got smoldered by boulders, so
Yeah.
Those rocks will get you every time.
So.
Watch out for the
I'm
thing.
gonna read off our.
Do we
lists.
think the Fantastic Four has any hope?
I don't know, man.
I want to say it does.
I think the casting is pretty good.
But we've seen casting doesn't mean anything.
I know, but
we had Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller.
Look at Madam Web.
I know.
Man,
I'm real high though on Pedro Pascal right now.
Right.
And
this is also MCU. This isn't Sony. This isn't Fox.
Oh, you're right. I keep getting
This isn't
confused.
Universal. This is going to be MCU.
Okay, here's my next question though too: is when is Feige out if the ship doesn't get righted?
I mean,
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy's still sailing the ship over at Star Wars.
When she must have like a what is it, tenure? She must have like tenure on Star Wars because
Good for her.
there's been some garbage that needs to be righted.
I
It's
think
though. Eventually, the MCU is going to need a new person in charge.
I think depending on what Phase 5 looks like, towards the end of Phase 5, will depend on what happens as far as restructuring over there goes.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, what Bob Iger's like doing with it. Like, what
He's got to be he's got to be worried for sure.
Yeah.
Between his two biggest IPs, Star Wars and Marvel, are not in the best places that they should be. Star Wars has not had a movie since 2019.
That's,
And they just canned the Rey movie, didn't they?
No,
Did
that's
they really?
that's still coming.
Is it still coming? I thought they were going to can it.
No,
Oh man.
not yet.
like Rise of Skywalker came out 5 years ago,
Yeah,
and
5
they
years.
haven't. But like, that's not a bad thing that they haven't put out any movies.
It's not.
Imagine if we hadn't gotten anything.
But, like-
Infinity War, Endgame, 5 years ago, also.
It's true, but yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at all the garbage that's come out since Infinity War and Endgame in the 5 years in between it,
I also really worry that like Mandalorian mashup movie is just not going to be good.
So, before we get too carried away, let me actually read off the list.
We'll leave you on that.
So from bottom to top, our predicted MCU Infinity Saga ranking is in 23rd place. We have Thor: The Dark World, followed by Captain Marvel, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man: Far From Home, Iron Man 3, Black Panther, Ant-Man comes in at 15, Captain America: The First Avenger, Doctor Strange, Iron Man 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now in our top 10 we have Avengers: Age of Ultron, Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor: Ragnarok, Iron Man, Spider-Man Homecoming, 5th place Avengers, 4th place Captain America Civil War, 3rd place Captain America The Winter Soldier, 2nd place Avengers Endgame, and in 1st place Avengers Infinity War. Any surprises on this list?
Well, I did my top 5
Mm-hmm.
just to see what
I did too.
we did. That right?
yeah.
Were yours what different? I'm sure no one nailed it.
I'm pulling mine up right now.
I did nail it.
You nailed
My
it.
top 5 was Infinity War, Endgame, Winter Soldier, Civil War, and Homecoming.
Really?
Yeah.
I had Infinity War, Endgame, Winter Soldier, Civil War, and Avengers.
Well, actually, I had
It can't-
Homecoming and
my
Ragnarok
My
were tough
screen
for
is
me.
inverted, but like hold it to a mirror or something.
No, I can see it normal.
Homecoming and Ragnarok, I really couldn't decide which one I wanted. Again, any day of the week I could change them.
Yeah, I had Endgame, Infinity War, Winter Soldier, and then I had Ragnarok and Iron Man.
Interesting.
I always just love the Iron Man. Like I just love Iron Man.
He's dead now.
It's
Steve,
where the
so.
MCU went downhill. The death of Iron Man.
So you said that last week because I listened to our podcast,
Nice.
and I remember you saying that then. Yeah.
The death of Iron Man was the death of the MCU. That'll be an article in like 10 years.
and then
I
Steve
think
will
it's
be the one who
probably
wrote
an
it.
article now.
Probably. It was probably an
Um,
article like a week after Endgame,
Right.
Yeah.
before the
So-
next thing even came out.
What we're going to do going forward is we could watch these movies, and if we were to do an actual whole Infinity Saga, I'd like to do them in release order, not based off of what we just put together.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
But
We're not animals.
since we
I don't want to
are
watch
not,
10 shitty movies in a row.
yeah, I was gonna say, and since we're not good at like, yeah, no, you can't watch Thor: The Dark World and then Captain Marvel,
But then Incredible
then
Hulk,
Incredible
like, that's
Hulk.
10 hours of your life that you'll never get back.
Right? We could at some point in the future attempt to do a full Infinity Saga rewatch, but for now,
I have
We're gonna
I have a grand idea.
let's
Oh,
hear
God.
it, Steve.
There's 23 movies, isn't there? Well,
Correct.
it doesn't quite even out, but I think we just throw all of the movies in a grab bag, and we all get like 7 or 8 movies, and those are the movies we watch.
Like our homework assignments.
Yeah, and then we just talk about the movies we
No,
got.
no. What if I get a shitty draw, man? What if I literally pull out the bottom 8 movies?
Well, you just shouldn't do that.
So with the issue, we could work. This is something we will discuss off the air, or we'll maybe just keep recording now, and cool, we'll just do another introduction here.
Can you imagine that chaos?
No, I don't.
I don't want to.
Well, what if we cut off the bottom?
Sorry, let me scroll.
We'll
back
just
down.
do the top 15, and we'll all watch 5.
So I think we can all. I was gonna say, we could all
Dude,
be in
no.
agreement that
Thor: The
that's,
Dark World is not moving, Andrew.
that's staying there. That's solid. Maybe there could be some wiggle room for Captain Marvel.
Well, yeah,
It's
because you
very
guys
small.
haven't seen Incredible Hulk, so that could
That's
drop.
why I'm saying that. Yeah.
I don't see much change happening.
I
But
don't
also,
either.
I don't see anything after this phase 3 even approaching the top 10.
No.
Like, is there
No.
anything?
The only thing I could possibly see, and this is a long shot, and I'm not saying I would vote for this, but would be Spider-Man No Way Home.
No Way Home.
That or Shang-Chi. I really like Shang-Chi.
I was gonna say Shang-Chi was actually
Shang-Chi was really
pretty
good.
good.
But I still don't think Shang-Chi would crack top 10.
No, it would probably be in that 10 to 15 range.
But Spider-Man No Way Home, I think, is the only thing that would stand a chance at cracking top
Yeah.
10.
Is there anything that'll approach Dark World? Like, to be the worst? Is there anything that could
So,
beat out Dark World to be the
I
worst?
can tell you right now, in
Huh?
Phase 4 itself, there's No Way Home,
Yeah.
Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Eternals. And that's not including shows.
Yeah.
That wasn't release order either.
No, that was not. That was not release order. That's just
Okay.
the movies that I know
Just
came
making sure, yeah.
out. The only movie that I could see that would even get towards the bottom there is I hated Eternals.
I didn't
hate it.
I
It was
didn't
just
hate
boring.
it. It's just,
It was
yeah.
so boring.
It was like 2 hours and 35 minutes too, or
think,
something.
Steve,
No, it was like
really long.
almost
that might have been
3
the
hours.
second. That might have been the second movie we saw together.
Yeah, we didn't have a good start.
No,
That's for sure. But it
as
got
far as
better from
superhero
there.
movies go, we haven't really. It's
Um,
been
I
bumpy.
I despise Wakanda Forever, but it probably isn't as bad as Dark World.
but I also despised Love and Thunder.
I didn't hate that one as much, but they did screw up Christian
I
Bale
really hated
for the
Love and
God
Thunder.
Butcher.
Yeah, I didn't. I liked it. I was neutral on that one.
But I want to point out, though, I have not rewatched any of those movies except for No Way Home and Shang-Chi.
Exactly. Me too.
So, Black Widow, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Thor, and Eternals, I've only ever seen the one time.
I saw
Yeah.
Thor twice in theaters because I think Kate wanted to see it.
I want to say I did too.
Yeah, didn't like your cousin or something want to see it,
Somebody saw us.
or your sister?
Yeah, no, I didn't. see
So,
my sister.
I mean, you never know. I could rewatch those and think they're way better than
did
what
we
I
see
thought.
it
but-
twice, Steve?
We might have.
I know I
think-
only ever saw
I
it the
think
one
you and I
time.
saw it twice.
We might have. Who knows?
Yes, because you wanted to see the Greek gods.
The Greek gods?
Yeah, like when he's on Mount Olympus talking to Zeus or something. You're like you wanted to like look for Easter eggs I don't know. I remember you saying that.
It's possible.
I don't know. I have a weird memory for that stuff.
The first time that I saw Love and Thunder, I really had to pee right as the movie started.
I
So
remember that.
Yep.
I had to sit through the whole movie having
Yeah.
to pee.
That's a terrible
which, like,
feeling.
took away the experience. For
I'm
sure.
sorry you had to go through that.
It was my own fault. Nobody else to blame.
Well, we also saw it in IMAX too, and we were in the center of the
Yeah.
IMAX theater.
I know.
And it
It's
was
like,
packed.
yeah, you can't
do
walk
that.
through the whole aisle like that.
Especially like 5 minutes in.
Yeah, no.
That's just rude.
No, you have to commit to that, to at least the halfway point. And once you get to the halfway point, you might as well round it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we think any of the TV shows like even approach the top 10?
No.
Loki season 2, maybe.
That'd be the only thing that I could
Maybe.
say that was pretty good.
I don't think it would crack top 10, though.
No, it wouldn't.
No.
10 to 15 again, probably.
I'm kind of like surprised Age of Ultron is in the top 10. I
Just
don't know.
barely, but yeah.
It's there. It's in 10th place, but like
It could probably go down 2 and the other 2 could go up.
But I was going to say, you will
Yeah.
notice that all the Avengers movies are in there. Age of Ultron,
Correct.
Avengers,
Correct.
Civil War. So I think there's something to say about those team-up movies.
Yeah, when you get a bunch of them in one spot, it's
Guardians
cool
of the
regardless.
Galaxy's in there.
what were,
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 just barely made it. It's number 11.
what was
Yeah.
your
So I think-
prediction again, Colby? Sorry, I'll write these down just to have as a keepsake.
Um,
I think you had everything except
yeah.
Avengers. It was Infinity War, Endgame, Winter Soldier, Civil War, then Homecoming. You had.
And then I had Homecoming. That was mine.
All right, and then Steve, what was yours?
That was Endgame, Infinity War, Winter Soldier, Ragnarok, and Iron Man.
And then I had cool.
I think Secret Invasion could be the worst thing the MCU has ever made.
I don't see it being the worst thing. I know it wasn't good.
It's
It was very bad.
it's
but-
very bad because it's also like 6 hours instead of like a 2-hour movie
Mhm.
that we had to endure week to week.
I was very disappointed by the finale of that show.
I was too.
It might be the worst finale of any show.
Yep.
I can agree with that for
Although,
sure.
did you guys watch She-Hulk?
No.
Yeah.
The finale of that, like it broke the fourth wall or whatever, was
I didn't get past
real bad.
episode 2 of that show.
Yeah. It was
I hated
nice.
that
I
show,
liked
too.
what they were trying to do. They just didn't do it right.
just didn't execute.
After I lost interest with anything and everything to do with the MCU after like Doctor Strange 2 came out.
Yeah,
That's where it started to like die for me.
a little weird, that's for sure.
It just felt like nobody up at Marvel knew what the hell they were doing.
I still
There's
don't
like, we know we have to pump these movies out, so just get them done. But they weren't actually thinking about, because not every movie tied directly into the sequel or whatever movie was coming right after it, but they
Yeah.
did try to correlate something between them. The newer movies have nothing to do with anything.
yeah.
Sorry, you guys are just. I just realized I had my screen scared. So you just saw me like play with all those borders.
I have no idea what you did there.
Yeah, I wasn't looking.
All right, no problem. I was just like,
Sorry.
appeasing my own
You got it.
stuff.
Pretty happy with that list. It's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty good.
Solid list.
Do we hope? Where do we hope Deadpool 3 lands?
If Deadpool 3 is everything that I want it to be, which I know it won't be,
Mhm.
but I'm going to guess somewhere between 7 and 8, probably.
I was
7,
looking
8,
at
9.
that too. I was looking.
So
Yeah.
you think it could be better than Ragnarok?
I think if it's everything
Well,
that
so
I could imagine,
we
sure.
held Ragnarok up so high because of how much fun it is,
Yeah.
and this is Deadpool 3.
Yeah. Is it rated R?
Yep.
Yes.
Rated R, right? Thank God.
They put out a
Yeah,
rough
so
trailer
I-
for it.
And, obviously this could be a really bad movie.
I don't think it will be though. The
I don't
first
think
two
it
are
would be.
pretty good.
I know Ryan Reynolds is like committed to the character.
And that's great, but I do need to set a certain level of expectations for myself because
Well-
these movies have been bombing lately.
I'm a little worried about, because I saw the trailers or whatever, they're bringing in like the TVA and multiverse stuff, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, like please just touch it, but don't like
The
focus on
multiverse
it.
stuff is where Doctor Strange went off the rails.
Yeah, like
That's why we're scared.
or fully commit. Just make it bananas. Like don't like half-ass some of it. I don't know. I was a little worried when I saw the TVA, and I was a little worried when I was like, "Oh, we're doing."
I was a
multiverse
little
stuff.
upset it wasn't Mobius.
Yeah.
Do we
I'd
think
like-
we get Mobius?
I think he's been confirmed.
Because there's got to be a cameo
And-
from somebody in the TVA that we already know. There has to be.
I think it was Mobius and Miss Minutes.
Yeah, it's gonna be Miss Minutes for sure. That's an easy cameo.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. Just have Tara Strong send in a voice recording.
Will they make like a crack at like Kang the Conqueror?
Oh, I hope
No.
they do. They
No?
won't, but I hope
No
they
Won't
will.
shot.
touch it.
No shot.
It's a bit
That would be
sensitive.
great though.
They
That
are
would be.
strafing away from that so fast.
You don't think like they'll even do like a he's canceled and like move along? You know what I mean?
I think they might. The end credit scene of the first Deadpool movie where Deadpool shows up to the X-Men Origins Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine standoff, and he shoots him in the back of the
Oh,
head.
Yeah.
I think that would be as close of a thing that we get to Kang the Conqueror, where
Okay.
Deadpool shows up, like kills Kang, and then goes, "That's the end of that. Moving on."
He'll look at the camera
We're
and
not
be like,
touching that again.
Like
And be
I
like,
could totally
had
picture
to do
that
that.
being a thing that happens,
Yeah.
and I'd be okay with it.
I'd be okay with it. That'd be fun.
I could see the TVA making a comment, being like Kang the Conqueror is coming, and then have Deadpool look at the camera and just shake his head. No, he's not.
I can picture that too. Yeah, just don't even show him. Just be like, "Nah, he ain't coming," or just be like, "We took care of that."
Oh man.
All right. So, in some way or another, we will figure out a way to see if our ranking holds true.
Sounds good.
Cool.
I don't know how, but
Yeah, well, then that's
figure it
a
out.
problem for us to figure out. I know in the next couple weeks we're gonna try and do a Dune thing. Dune's gonna be coming out
Yep.
shortly,
I got to rewatch the first one still.
and I have to watch the first one still.
I'm gonna rewatch it probably. Well, it comes out the 8th, right? So we have like 3
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, we'll have to make a plan
Yeah,
to go see that at
and
some
then-
point.
Kung Fu Panda comes out March 1st. So
I already told Andrew that
Mm-hmm.
I would probably come down on the 8th if we wanted to do like a double feature and like grab dinner and stuff like that.
I'm down.
sounds Gucci.
Madam Web and Dune 2, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll meet you guys for Dune 2.
Dude, I saw Madam Web was actually playing in 4D over at Randolph.
Really?
I don't know
Oh.
how that movie could possibly be in 4D, but
There's
you know what?
nothing
If I have to
about-
see it a
Don't wanna
second
find
time,
out.
if I have to see it a
Oh.
second time, it's going to be in 4D.
You know what I gotta tell you guys too? Remember when we saw the trailer for that movie with the dog with the duck head or the goose head?
What?
Remember we saw that trailer and you guys were like, "What the hell is that? Was that a dog with a goose head?"
I don't remember that
I
at
don't-
all.
No, we saw the trailer for that. Okay, so that movie was Poor Things, which is nominated for Best Picture.
The one with Emma Stone.
Yeah, and I saw
Oh,
it.
that movie.
I saw it last week, and it was like a top 5 movie of the year.
My sisters were seeing that tonight.
It's
I don't-
so good.
No.
I'm gonna
It's
text
so
her right now.
good.
She probably
No.
It's wacky.
I don't believe you.
And it's out there and it's crazy for sure, but like it was so fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I'm
And you
texting-
may hate it. You may go and hate it. This is like one of those movies that like you will
that it
hate
was
with
like
a passion or just love
So-
extremely.
Steve, how you just described it. What was it? The head of a chicken on a dog?
Yeah, the head of a goose on a dog or something.
That doesn't sound like what the movie actually is. Like you said that, and I'm thinking like DreamWorks.
No, this is like
no,
a live action.
It's a serious like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know because my mom had asked me if I was planning to see that one, and I hadn't really heard of it.
Don't go see it with your mom.
No, but
Like
Chris- then
steer
her
far
follow-up-
away.
her follow up. I got the note.
There's so many boobs. Like you will not. You will
All right, so-
not be comfortable.
Not
I
gonna
went and saw
take
it with
my-
my mom. And my mom was like, "There's way too many boobs in this," and I was like, "It's okay, it's great." And she was like, "I don't get it." And I
It's
was like-
okay. It's great.
and she didn't like it as much as I did, but I loved every second of it.
Either of you guys see Anyone But You?
Is that the Sydney Sweeney,
Yeah,
Glenn Powell, Top Gun guy, Hangman movie?
yeah.
Any good?
No, I was just curious. I mean,
Oh, I haven't
it's
seen
a
it.
rom-com, and I have a guilty pleasure for rom-coms. But I heard like it was getting like really, really good reviews.
Yeah, I heard it's not supposed to be that bad.
No,
Poor Things is a rom-com if you want to look at it that way.
I just
You know what
texted
movie
my
I'm excited
sister.
for? The Mark
Yes?
Wahlberg and the dog movie. That movie's gonna be
Oh.
great.
Yeah, I don't think so. You know what I'm actually looking forward to is Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Oh yeah.
Kong x Godzilla,
Let's
the Triple
take a-
X movie.
take a gander over here at our
Oh, we need a new Triple X movie with Vin Diesel.
number 3 on my list.
I think we do. It can be about Neville Longbottom's parents.
Oh Jesus Christ! It's a good thing you're not working over at Warner Brothers.
Oh man.
So I just texted my sister because she was seeing that that movie we were just talking about tonight,
I hope she likes boobs.
and I said, "How was the movie?" She just got back to me and said it was kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
And I just said, "I'm talking to Stephen Colby," and Steve just said it has a lot of boobs, so I'm gonna wait for her to respond.
So
Emma Stone's naked at least 14 times.
You know, I have a friend who's like in love with Emma Stone, so he'll probably appreciate that.
There's-
Steve, your example of like a movie about the Longbottoms is the equivalent of somebody being like, "Oh, we should make a movie where one of the main characters is Uncle Ben."
Oh,
And
and
then
they
they-
made that.
And then they made that movie. And that movie was not a good movie.
I think the Longbottoms could be way more fascinating.
I mean,
I
oh
feel-
yeah, no, for sure.
I think like if they did like the first Wizarding War, where like they get tortured, like
Yeah.
that'd be terrible, but that would be like awesome.
Plus, their last name's Longbottoms. I mean, that's a
Right.
great last name.
So, all right. My sister says, "I don't know about boobs, but there is definitely a lot of sex." And she says, "But the plot was really good, and the
Doesn't
cinematography
one
was
come
awesome."
with the other?
Yeah, the scenes
cast
and
was
the way they
elite.
were shot was awesome. It's my vote for Best Picture.
Wasn't on any of our lists.
I know, but it's my
Yeah.
vote now.
I'm just because I have that up right now for listeners. I pulled up our. If you haven't checked out our last episode, and if you made it this far in this episode,
Wait, what's 2023?
that was just our predictions that we did.
Yeah. Wow, those lists suck, huh?
Yeah, our our 2 previous episodes we did film fantasy, we called it, where we for 2023 we picked our top 6 films that we thought performed well throughout the year, and then we compared them to how they actually did, and whoever had the highest average won, which was me. I won by .001. Yeah,
Not much.
.0. It was very, very close. And then we did a predictions one for 2024 as that one comes out. So we'll check in with that sporadically throughout the year.
And Andrew has Deadpool 3 as his number 1.
Yes, I do. Followed by Despicable Me 4, Godzilla X Kong, and I'm going to skip to the last one, the Leo Pharrell Williams movie.
Oh, Jesus.
It's going to be terrible. I'm not anticipating a 2-year streak for this.
This victory.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you should see Poor Things if you get a chance.
All right. Maybe I'll go on a date to see it.
Okay. With like a dominatrix, you'll be fine.
All right. Cool, thanks.
But with just a girl you don't know, probably not a great choice.
Alrighty then.
Just being honest, I had to sit through it with my mom.
I don't know why you did that.
I didn't know there was so much.
This is the
frontal
second
nudity.
time this has happened to you, Steve.
I know, but I'm
Stop
older
inviting
now.
her.
We just accepted it as
Read
film.
the spoilers.
As
Yeah.
film, it was an immersive experience.
Oh no!
That just made it so much worse.
Yeah, no.
I know you didn't
no,
mean
no,
it
no.
that way, but
Very hands-on.
oh god, no.
Let's go through it.
Not sure something I would have had, but I think that's his way of trying to change the subject.
Whew. All right.
All right.
I think I'm worded out.
Yeah. I kind of want McDonald's.
Go get some.
I might.
Maybe Mark Wahlberg will be there with his dog.
Can I get one large fry, please?
Nah,
just-
if I go to the Mickey
just
D's in
one large
Bridgewater,
fry.
then I'll
Hamburger,
won't be
no
getting home till
pickles?
midnight.
Too far away.
Nah, it's only 5 minutes away, but the service is shit.
No, it is true. No. He'll be there until like 2 a.m.
And then they'll tell me they're out of fries.
Yeah.
Or the fries I'll get will be like shaved potatoes
Shaved potatoes.
And
You don't
cold
want shaved
with
potatoes.
no salt.
Oh my god. You
I
got
ask
any of
for
that,
extra salt when I
that
go there
Loki sweet and sour sauce?
now. Never tried it. I had every intention to, but I just never did.
It was the same old sweet and sour sauce. You didn't miss anything.
Sweet and sour. My
What
favorite.
Can you do? What can you do?
You can't just reflect on the past, I suppose.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, for listening.